I believe that BlackRock just accidentally admitted exactly how they're going to attack Bitcoin. I know it sounds a little bit crazy and a little bit conspiratorial, but you're going to want to watch the video that I have uncovered for you guys today. Everybody knows that BlackRock has just posted this video that they're calling Bitcoin bit by bit. And everybody thought that it was a really bullish video, but I think I might have uncovered a little tiny nugget in this video that exposes BlackRock's exact attack on Bitcoin. Again, we've been speculating about BlackRock's attack on Bitcoin and what exactly it's going to look like since day one that they launched their Bitcoin ETF filing. But I'm going to play this video for you guys, and I want you to pay very, very close attention to everything about this video, including the subtitles. And I want to see whether you guys can pick up the little piece of this video that I'm most concerned about. And again, it is glaringly obvious to those paying attention. So let's hope the audio works on this video. If it doesn't, I've got a backup plan, but let's listen to this.
We've all heard about Bitcoin, but what exactly is Bitcoin? Let's start at the beginning, around 100,000 years ago. Throughout history, we've used all kinds of objects to help make transactions and store value. From seashells, to shiny metals, to paper notes. That's because the value isn't just in the object itself, it's in how much we agree the object represents. So the object can be many things, even, as it turns out, a string of digital code. The internet changed everything. It connected the world, changing how we communicate, work, shop, and manage finances. It also opened the door to a new kind of currency and asset. Enter Bitcoin, a digital currency not governed by banks or governments, but by its global community of users. And that provided new potential benefits.
So we're 1 minute in and we still haven't seen the attack yet. I mean, this looks pretty bullish, right? BlackRock explaining the history of money. They're about to say how Bitcoin slots into this history of money, and still no mention of an attack. This is the part of the video that I want you guys to pay attention to, though.
Bitcoin exchanges happen person to person, anywhere in the world, in near real time and for near zero transaction costs, saving money, time, and opening financial opportunity to those without access to a banking system. Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million Bitcoins. This hard-coded rule controls supply, purchasing power, and helps avoid the potential misuse of printing more and more currency, which can contribute towards inflation.
Okay, so BlackRock's recognizing that Bitcoin has a hard cap supply. This is bullish, right? Well, I just told you that you just missed the attack. You just missed the very crucial piece of information that BlackRock exposed in this video, where they just admitted how they're going to attack Bitcoin. If you guys missed it, I'm going to rewind the video, and I want you to pay very, very close attention to how perfect the subtitles are in this video. Again, leading into this, look at how perfect these subtitles are, but they have a black
Near
background.
real time and for near zero transaction costs, saving money, time, and opening financial opportunity to those without access to a banking system.
Get ready for it.
Bitcoin has a fixed
Right there. What is that little sentence there with the white background? Now, again, I almost feel as if BlackRock has tried to hide this little disclaimer in their very own video that they are playing for clients. Have a look at it. Look what it says. So you can see very clearly the subtitles have the black background. But what's this little disclaimer they have in white? There is no guarantee that Bitcoin's 21 million supply cap will not be changed. Why did BlackRock insert that little nugget of information in the video? again, as you see, if I play the entire video, there are no other disclaimers. The rest of the video, at the very bottom of the video, they have perfect subtitles. Why did they not say this in the video? Why did they not physically vocalize the words that there is no guarantee that Bitcoin will have a supply cap? Now, where is the attack here? Where is the speculation here? We're going to answer the chat because the chat is on fire. There's 436 of you guys right now who are as perplexed as I am regarding this little disclaimer about BlackRock. But I think all of it will make a little bit more sense when we remember what was buried within BlackRock's original Bitcoin ETF filing. And again, I've put that up on screen right here. We can see in the event of a hard fork, the sponsor, BlackRock, will use its own discretion to determine which network should be considered the appropriate network. There is no guarantee that BlackRock will choose the digital asset that is ultimately the most valuable fork. The sponsor may also disagree with shareholders. That's right. If you own Bitcoin BlackRock ETF shares and you think that, okay, let's assume there is a crazy scenario, at least we're going to get the opportunity to vote, right? I mean, that's our Bitcoin that BlackRock is holding. We should be able to vote on what happens in the hypothetical event of a hard fork. Surely. No. Have a look at this. BlackRock says the sponsor may also disagree with shareholders, the Bitcoin custodian, and other service providers, even the cryptocurrency exchanges or other market participants on what is generally accepted as Bitcoin and should therefore be considered Bitcoin, quote unquote, for the trust's purposes. Interesting, don't you think? What exactly is BlackRock talking about? As we can see, absolutely everybody is talking about the fact that BlackRock is now sparking a quiet debate surrounding the 21 million supply cap. Now let's dive a little bit further into the speculation. Now let's talk in depth, so to say, on a little bit more regarding what might this attack look like. Because I released a tweet thread on Twitter, literally the day after BlackRock submitted their Bitcoin ETF filing in July 2023, where we had this very dodgy language submitted into the bill. And I've been following this attack since day one. Okay, I've made a ton of videos talking about the paper Bitcoin attack. These are just a few of the videos on my YouTube channel that I've been bringing you guys over the past 4 years, but in particular this year in 2024, since I've gone all in on Bitcoin and, Bitcoin YouTube, so to say. You can see BlackRock and Coinbase's $20 billion Bitcoin short is over. The 277,000 Bitcoin BlackRock lie. Okay, this is a story close to my heart, and I've been following it. And I think BlackRock just admitted the quiet parts out loud. So I'm going to go through the Twitter thread that I wrote the very day after BlackRock submitted their Bitcoin ETF filing, all the way back in mid-2023. From day one, I've been calling BS on BlackRock, and I've said pay very close attention to BlackRock. Now I'm a little bit jacked up because I think the video that BlackRock just released is their first little slip up. It's their first admittance of what their Bitcoin endgame might be. So let's dive into this tweet thread. We can say I thought it was really interesting that the timing of the Bitcoin BlackRock ETF happened at the same time that we saw 5 coordinated attacks from every 3-letter agency, a globalist agency, within a 6-week time frame. So we saw the FATF attack Bitcoin on May 18th. We also saw the World Economic Forum attack Bitcoin on May 25th, 2023. The SEC attacked on June 15th. Then 2 weeks later, on June 19th, the BIS And then 3 days after that, the IMF released a white paper attacking Bitcoin. And again, what date did I release this tweet thread? June 26, 2023. Literally a day, if not days, after BlackRock released what I'm about to show you. Their initial 30-plus page Bitcoin ETF filing where they had these very interesting disclaimers in it. Okay, but let's break down what was happening in the weeks leading up to BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF filing. What was happening before? Well, the FATF said that the G7 must take charge in ending the lawless crypto space. The WEF released a 35-page white paper on May 25th saying that we need global crypto regulation. Binance was sued by the SEC on June 6th. Coinbase was sued by the SEC on June 7th. June 19th, the BIS called for a unified global CBDC ledger system. On June 20th, the Federal Reserve announced progress on their project, FedNow. And then on June 22nd, the IMF said it's too difficult to ban Bitcoin in a massive white paper that they released. And we all know what happened literally weeks, days after all of that. BlackRock released their initial Bitcoin ETF filing where they said this. They said the quiet parts out loud. What else did they say? Well, let's draw some more dots and connections for why I'm so skeptical of BlackRock. I said if you're going to attack Bitcoin, you have to attack its most valuable attributes that are its finite supply, decentralization, immutability, and what backs all of that is proof of work mining. And at the time I said, in a Twitter account that now has a different name for those who might be confused, I wrote this for the Bitcoin Culture Twitter account, now has a different name, but we can see here, despite the rebranding, I said, who has a long history of attacking Bitcoin's energy use? The World Economic Forum. Who is heavily connected to the World Economic Forum? Again, this is a 2017 World Economic Forum tweet where they said by 2020, Bitcoin will consume all of the world's power. I said, okay, so the WEF has long attacked Bitcoin's proof of work mining, the thing that underpins value and makes it valuable. Well, I said, who has that connection to the World Economic Forum? Oh, well, yours truly, Larry Fink. Let's have a look at some receipts I have here. Larry Fink is not only listed on the website of the World Economic Forum. Now, again, lots of people are listed on the website of the World Economic Forum. But Larry Fink, oh, no. He has a higher position with the World Economic Forum. Much higher position. I believe they call him a policy contributor. Now, he's a board of trustees on the World Economic Forum. You can see here. Lawrence D. Fink joined the World Economic Forum Board of Trustees in August 2019. Again, remember the dates. Who remembers following what was happening with the 2020 madness? And what also happened with the World Economic Forum in September 2019. I'm going to be very hush-hush about what I say on this live stream about that, but those who are paying attention will remember what happened in September 2019, 3 months before there was a sneeze. Let's just say that. Let's move on. August 2019. Again, timelines always catch me by surprise. On August 2019, Larry was appointed as a board of trustees for the World Economic Forum. We can see BlackRock here is featured on the World Economic Forum website. Again, BlackRock hates proof of work mining as well. This was at the same time that we saw the ESG attack on Bitcoin by BlackRock. BlackRock was forcing behavior change in companies all around the world, pushing this ESG nonsense. Okay, and they've partnered up with the World Economic Forum. Interesting. More dots. Let's connect more dots that were happening at that same time in mid-2023. Well, I also said this year in March, Ripple co-founder Jeremy Larson spent $5 million bribing Greenpeace to embark on this campaign that attacked, guess what? Bitcoin's proof of work mining. Again, if you're going to attack Bitcoin and change its rules, what you need to do is you need to change what makes Bitcoin unchangeable. And that is the fact that it's backed by proof of work. Okay? Bitcoin's been attacked. Everybody has wanted Bitcoin to change to proof of stake. All of the elites, the WEF, BlackRock, Greenpeace. But why? Why do they want to change Bitcoin so desperately to proof of stake? Because then all of a sudden, those who hold the most amount of Bitcoin and hold the most amount of coins, they would all of a sudden have a vote in the network, a bigger vote than the little guy like me and you. And that is when they would be able to change the rules of Bitcoin. So again, these were the red flags going off in my mind back here. We can see Greenpeace with their $5 million bribe from Ripple co-founder Jeremy Larson, who is also a bad actor with many interesting connections, was floating around this Skool saying that Bitcoin mining is boiling the ocean. It's killing the planet. Okay, and they were driving this Skool around on the back of a truck all through New York City, all across America, trying to convince the public that Bitcoin is this evil, energy guzzling thing, right? That's boiling the oceans. Okay, we can also see at the exact same time, the Wall Street Journal ran this very famous article that went mainstream, mega viral, the real world costs of the digital race for Bitcoin. They said the same thing. They were attacking Bitcoin's proof of work mining. When was this article released? It was also Q2 2023. Again, look at the timing of these attacks. And we can also see after this attack in April failed, and it was swiftly debunked by Pierre Richard, we saw another attack in the month after, May. This was May, the month before BlackRock filed its ETF proposal. Biden proposed a 30% tax on cryptocurrency energy a month before BlackRock proposed that Bitcoin ETF filing. Again, who's on the World Economic Forum website? Joe Biden. Again, I'm not making any claims. I'm just drawing some dots here. That's it. That's absolutely it. That's all I'm doing. And after all of these recent attacks on Bitcoin's proof of work mining, why are people not suspicious of the world's largest ESG investor entering the Bitcoin space? BlackRock applied to launch a Bitcoin fund. Then came the conspiracy theories. Oh boy. Are these conspiracy theories or is this just facts? Well, again, all we've done so far is connect dots and say XYZ person is connected to XYZ institution. I'm going to engage in some conspiracy theories here in a moment, don't you worry. But let's move on. Let's continue looking at what this endgame could be for BlackRock. Okay, so I said here, Bitcoin is proof of work. Surely it doesn't matter if BlackRock is about to capture the entire US market and accumulate a lot of Bitcoin. Even that was a controversial statement to make before the Bitcoin ETF was launched. Right? Most people thought they wouldn't be successful. I said, no. They're going to become the biggest American holder of Bitcoin. And right now they hold a lot of Bitcoin, let me tell you. Now, again, I said, be careful. We could see another civil war here. We could see the proof of stake versus proof of work fight over Bitcoin. Like 2017, again, I believe all of the attacks on Bitcoin have failed. And if we're going to see another attack, it would be something like this. The elites will try to buy up as much Bitcoin as they can, and then maybe, just maybe, they'd have another crack at trying to attack Bitcoin, hard fork Bitcoin, change Bitcoin's 21 million supply cap, like BlackRock so beautifully alluded to in their video. I actually cannot believe that more people have not seen this video. Again, some people on Twitter are obviously talking about what is going on in this video, okay? Those paying attention have been, highlighting concerns, but I'm making this video because not enough people are paying attention to this video. Everybody's saying, oh, it's bullish. BlackRock's making videos about Bitcoin. This is incredibly bullish, right? Wrong. I don't think so. I think what we're seeing is a little bit of a BlackRock slip up. We can see here, I believe this was one of the original posts from the video, and have a look at all the comments. Jesus, this is good. Good job. Everybody's talking about how this is bullish. Bullish AF, baby. Not one person in this original tweet is mentioning the fact that we should, hang on a minute, why are they talking about Bitcoin's limited supply? Hodl Magoo here exposes it a little bit. He says, there is no guarantee that Bitcoin's 21 million supply cap will not be changed. And he has a screenshot, the infamous screenshot of that very interesting disclaimer that we saw. Let's see what people are saying. Bram, host of the Bitcoin Millennials podcast, says it's a corporate legal disclaimer. Why weren't there 1,000 other disclaimers in there? I mean, BlackRock mentioned a lot of things in the video that I played for you guys. Why was there not a disclaimer about Bitcoin transactions being unconfiscatable? I mean, shouldn't there be a disclaimer in there? Or what about the Bitcoin ledger being transparent? Technically, it's not completely transparent. If you use coin joins, you can transact Bitcoin privately. Where's the disclaimer there? I mean, BlackRock just literally, this is a 3-minute video, right? They're talking about Bitcoin as an investment, its limited supply, its uniqueness, its transparency, the fact that it can be used in all of these different countries. I mean, if this very little disclaimer right there is just a disclaimer, why is there not 1,000 disclaimers in the video? Again, if you kind of scroll through the whole video, there's no other disclaimers. The rest of the video, the only text at the very bottom of the screen is perfect subtitles with a black background. Look at it. Where are the other disclaimers? I mean, BlackRock just produced a 3-minute video, and you're really going to tell me and try to convince me that Occam's razor explains that little sentence right there? I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I simply do not buy it. Absolutely do not buy it. I've got some extended thoughts on BlackRock I want to go through in a moment. I want to quickly hit on some questions. Kanga BB, $15 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Really appreciate that. There's an A in front of that. Is that Australian cuck bucks? Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. It must be Australian dollars. Damn, guys. What is going on? You guys have blown up the chat today. There's actually no way. Okay, thank you for the legal advice. We have legal advice in here. Maybe somebody should have given BlackRock some legal advice, considering supposedly they're just doing disclaimers in their video. Elaine, long-time viewer and supporter of the channel. Welcome, Elaine. Makes a great comment. They have to tell you. They have to tell you ahead of time. So when they do try to change Bitcoin's finite supply, they're going to say, oh, look, they're going to point to it, like Elaine says, and look, we told you guys, we warned you guys. We gave you guys a very subtle warning buried within a 3-minute video where we didn't actually say out loud or vocalize the fact that we want to change Bitcoin's supply. But what we did do is we added a sentence that we didn't read. Oh my, I mean, honestly, incredible. I don't believe that this is just a disclaimer. Again, where are all of the other disclaimers in this video? If this is an above board disclaimer, where are the rest? I mean, BlackRock is openly talking about Bitcoin's transparency. They have a whole section where it's titled Bitcoin transparency. Where was the, here we go, number 3, transparent. Well, Bitcoin is not fully transparent. We know that. If you coin join a UTXO, you can use Bitcoin privately. Now, wouldn't Larry Fink, somebody who said that Bitcoin is an index of money laundering in 2017, wouldn't he be the first person to make the disclaimer and say that Bitcoin is not fully transparent? You can use it privately. Really? Honestly, Again, I'm always open to hearing Occam's razor explanations of things. And again, not all conspiracy theories are right. But if we're to take at face value that disclaimer that BlackRock added in that video, it's just for legal purposes, where's the other disclaimers? Why don't we have one about this? Bitcoin's transparency. We should. Because that's not true. Bitcoin is not completely transparent. All transactions take place on a digital ledger called the blockchain. It's a digital platform to move value, where everybody can see every transaction. That's BlackRock's exact words. That's not true. You cannot see every transaction. Well, you can technically see every transaction, but it's not transparent. You can't see the identity of everybody using it. I'm not buying it, guys. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Apparently, I'm going to be buying something. Apparently, because Dean just sent us a super chat. 100. Oh, what currency is it? ZAR. Is that South African Rand? Let's test my memory. Thank you for the super chat, Dean. I appreciate it, my friend. Let's answer this question. Do you reckon we should buy MSTR, Bitcoin dip now, or wait and purchase when it falls more? Oh, it's a tricky question, Dean. You really got me in a knot here. Let's have a look at the price of Bitcoin. I'm going to try my best to give you an answer. Again, with the caveat, nobody knows where the price of Bitcoin is going. Me in particular. So let's check out the price of Bitcoin. Now, I have a funny line on a chart. Again, this is not technical analysis, but so far, Bitcoin dips have been bought up at higher and higher levels so far. Just a trend I'm keeping an eye on. These corrections have been very shallow, very rapid, and it looks as if somebody is buying the dip every time Bitcoin dips below $100,000. It looks like it's quickly bought up. That trend is still true for now. Bitcoin is setting high lows. Now, again, I'm going to show you all sides of the story before I give you my conclusion. Something to be aware of is that Bitcoin has very violent corrections in a bull market. Very violent corrections in a bull market. I'm going to show you a chart, a famous chart that you should all be aware of. This chart is going to be showing you what the Bitcoin price did in 2017 when it rallied from $1,000 to $20,000. Look at how many dips and corrections there were along the way from that 1K to 20K pump. We had 6 corrections bigger than 28%. Talk about it all the time here on the channel. So what I'm saying is be prepared for corrections. Bitcoin is incredibly volatile in bull markets. I firmly believe that we are still in a bull market. I firmly disagree with the fact that Bitcoin's topped at 100K. Don't believe that at all. I really do not believe that at all. I'm honestly surprised Bitcoin has held up as well as it has over the past month because Bitcoin historically has been inversely correlated to the Dixie. Now, there's a reason I bring this up, and we're going to get there. The Dixie has just had a pretty major breakout here after a multi-year correction. Doesn't matter how you draw this trend line. Again, I get it. Technical analysis is bogus. Anybody trying to sell you technical analysis, trading courses, they don't know what they're talking about, but it's pretty clear that like the Dixie has broken out here, reaching its highest level since December 2022. So this is a 2-year high for the Dixie, and it's just ripped from 100 to 108. And Bitcoin's down 10%, tiny correction, if that. Right now, where's Bitcoin? Let's check in on Bitcoin to see where it's at. But I'm telling you, the price of Bitcoin really like, I mean, if you look at this thing on a zoomed out kind of chart, like I have it here, where's the dip? I'm going to take all that trash off the chart. But I mean, we've just pumped from $66K to $108,000 in a month, in literally a space of 6 or 7 weeks. I mean, it's very common to see some pullbacks. And again, I would not be surprised to see a pullback. Like, again, we saw lots of 30% corrections. What would be wrong if Bitcoin came back here to $73,000? If Bitcoin did correct to $73,000, everybody would be calling the end of the bear market. It's all over. Pack it up. Like they did in every single correction way back in 2017. Okay, I don't think that would be the end of the bull market. I think it would be perfectly healthy if Bitcoin did have a 20 or 30% correction. Again, nobody knows where the price of Bitcoin is going, so usual caveat, but I hope that answered your question in detail there, Dean. I'm personally not concerned about the Bitcoin price right now. So right now we also have other factors going on. The Fed came out yesterday and they're a little bit hawkish. Jerome Powell said, yeah, you know what, we were 50-50. Jerome Powell said we nearly considered not cutting interest rates. So that was a little bit more hawkish than the markets expected. And when you zoom in, you can kind of see Bitcoin right now is relatively heavily correlated to the S&P 500. Again, you guys know we don't draw lines on charts here on this channel, and we don't encourage you to trade, but I do think that's an interesting chart at least. This is the S&P 500, biggest stock market index in the world. And we can see that this has had a relatively fair pullback. Now, again, it doesn't look big, but a 4% drawdown in the S&P 500 is a big move. This thing's like tens of trillions of dollars, this market. The S&P 500 is absolutely massive. So for the S&P to have a 4% pullback, that represents trillions of dollars leaving the markets, running into places like the Dixie, the dollar, which is why the dollar is screaming higher. People want a little bit of safety because now we're not so sure that the Fed's going to aggressively cut interest rates. Now, again, I think we're in the middle. So to answer your question, I always like to give long answers if you're going to send me a super chat, Dean. So thank you for the super chat. Where do I sit? Am I buying the dip? If I had cash on the sidelines, I'd be averaging into your position. I mean, 10%, 15% dip. Yeah, I'd buy a little bit now. But, you know, if it goes lower, buy a little bit more. That's how I would personally approach it. Okay, because we're gonna be putting some users in jail. Oh, did I accidentally delete everybody's comments? What have I done? Okay, no, I think I'm good. I was trying to do a little bit of moderation. I know I've got a moderator in here. Let me make someone moderator. McLovin. Oh, how do I make you moderator, McLovin? I gave you a star. Is that a moderator? Okay. So to answer your question, I hope I answered it, Dean. That's my thoughts. Like right now, yeah, I'd be buying this dip, but I wouldn't be going all in. I would average into your position if you got cash on the sideline. That's what I would be doing right now. And I showed you the Bitcoin chart. Let me have a look at the MicroStrategy chart. Now, MicroStrategy is a different story because if we get a 30% dip in Bitcoin, again, this is not a technical analysis channel, but the next area of support for MicroStrategy is a long way down. Like if you saw a 30% dip in Bitcoin, you could see a much bigger dip in MicroStrategy. You could comfortably see a 50% correction in MicroStrategy. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I mean, well, let's be honest. MicroStrategy is a higher beta version of Bitcoin. And there's just simply less support on this chart because it's rallied so aggressively. So I'd be a little bit more cautious buying the MicroStrategy dip until the markets turn around. Because again, at the end of the day, everybody's dependent upon what the big dogs do in the short term. Again, in the medium term, Bitcoin's already decoupled from the markets, right? But in the short term, Bitcoin's everything. Everything goes to one correlation. Okay, what happens in these traditional markets is a lot more tied to what Bitcoin does. I hope I didn't completely butcher that explanation. But I would wait until the markets stop dumping as heavily as they are right now. Because if you have a look at the NASDAQ, even that thing is down 5% on the week. And again, this market is tens of trillions of dollars in size. That represents trillions, plural, being wiped out of the NASDAQ in a week, okay? So I will just wait until we have some smoother seas in the traditional markets before I made an executive decision on what to do. Obviously, any dip should be bought. And if your time frame on Bitcoin, if you're going to hold Bitcoin for more than 6 months or 12 months, you should be buying every single dip. Again, I got paid today in Bitcoin. So technically, I just bought the dip. Again, I'm 100% all in Bitcoin, but I tried to get paid from a couple of my different places that owe me money at the moment because, again, it's a 10% dip. So I said, shit, pay me now, pay me now. I want to get the Bitcoin while it's cheap. I'm a little bit lazy with my invoices. Let's have a look at the VIX. Whatever you guys want to look at, I'm gonna try to answer all the questions. I'm gonna try my best anyway. Okay, so this is the VIX. Biggest weekly candle in a long time. And you can see when there's big risk off trade, the VIX goes pretty crazy. You're going to see that better if I put this on a weekly chart. You'll be able to see the 2020 panic a little bit clearer. This was, I think this was a chart's broken here. Maybe this was a war-related spike in the VIX. But we've seen the VIX move to its highest level here in a few months. This is the volatility index. So there's a lot of volatility in the markets right now. That's what that chart's showing you. So thanks for the comment, Buck 52,000. Now, but is BlackRock worried about what we're looking at today? Are they? Let's have a look. Because again, everybody's really concerned. Again, wouldn't it be interesting that BlackRock releases this video and Bitcoin's crashing? It's an interesting correlation, don't you think? Let's have a look at the flows. So we can see BlackRock on the 18th of December, they don't seem to be too concerned about the dip. Total net flows, 2,500 Bitcoin were bought yesterday. 500 Bitcoin are mined every day. So yesterday, the Bitcoin ETFs alone just bought 5 days worth of supply. So somebody's buying the dip out there. I think that's relatively clear. Somebody is buying the dip. Who knows? Maybe BlackRock, well, no, we do know. BlackRock is buying the dip. Have a look at the chart. BlackRock just bought 3,591 Bitcoin yesterday. They are buying the dip. So what is BlackRock doing? Are they going to be attacking Bitcoin? Dennis in the chat says, what is the worst thing that can happen to OG Bitcoin after BlackRock did a hard fork? Great question, great timely question. I mean, worst case scenario, we see a hard fork. And I don't think we would see this until BlackRock and the other people who are going to follow this uneconomical chain of Bitcoin, we wouldn't see this until BlackRock had a lot of Bitcoin. Now, again, somebody in the chat earlier said, just run a Bitcoin node. And that's a great way to, if everybody's running their own Bitcoin node, then they're choosing what version of Bitcoin that they're going to follow in the event of a hard fork. That's why Bitcoin is the most decentralized, or the only decentralized cryptocurrency, because there's rumored to be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of nodes all around the network. Again, rumored, that was a little bit of a poor explanation. There is confirmed like 30 or 40,000 public reachable nodes all around the world, dwarfing any other altcoin, right? This is why altcoins aren't decentralized. You can't run a node. You can't run a Solana node. You can't run an Ethereum node. You need 32 Ethereum to run a node. They say to the little guy, no, you cannot run a node. You need 32 ETH. You need, how much is ETH? 3,000 a coin? In Ethereum, you need $100,000 to run a node and have a vote, quote unquote, in that network. Very different in Bitcoin. You just need an old computer, a laptop, $200 laptop. You can run a node. This is why Bitcoin's decentralized and why altcoins are not. Again, another thing you can do in this worst case scenario that Dennis is talking about with a hard fork is simply go out there and buy your own Bitcoin and hold it in your own self-custody. It's a very important part. Doesn't matter where you buy the Bitcoin, but make sure you self-custody the Bitcoin. Again, I always like to tell you guys about Caleb and Brown. If you want to buy some Bitcoin, check them out. They're a Bitcoin brokerage, so they're going to actually give you the really unique opportunity to connect with your own personal broker, where you can ask them any questions you want about Bitcoin. You can buy the Bitcoin there. Again, it's a very unique service. There's a fee involved in that transaction fee for having your own personalized broker. Not for everyone, but it is for a lot of people. So check that out. Again, they cater institutional and retail clients. So check those guys out. Then a very important point that is very relevant to this video is taking self-custody of your Bitcoin. This is what answers Dennis's comment here. What can you do? What is the worst thing that can happen to Bitcoin? And what can you do in the event of a hard fork? Take self-custody of your Bitcoin. Once you do take self-custody of your Bitcoin, I always encourage you guys to back up that 12 or 24 word Bitcoin backup phrase on titanium. You can get these plates from Stampseed that are fireproof. They are life-proof. They are flood-proof. They are dog-proof. They are even baby-proof. Again, so many people make the mistake of writing down their 12 or 24 word Bitcoin backup phrase on a piece of paper. The pieces of paper come with the hardware wallets. I think that should not be best practice. That should not be encouraged by hardware wallet manufacturers. Again, I highly recommend you guys get some titanium and put your Bitcoin seed phrase into titanium. You can get a 15% discount of anything you want to buy from Stampseed with a promo code Luke15. Okay. So again, definitely check out what Stampseed is doing. Take self-custody. That is one thing you can do. Wayne here makes a great comment about BlackRock. If BlackRock changes the ETF to BlackRock version of Bitcoin, then sell it and buy the Fidelity Bitcoin ETF. Great point, Wayne. Fidelity does not use Coinbase. But again, if BlackRock attacks Bitcoin, just take self-custody of it while you still can. Why even trust Coinbase or another ETF issuer? Yes, I know Fidelity doesn't use Coinbase, but why trust another ETF issuer? Take things into your own hands, okay? I encourage you guys to take everything in your own life into your own hands, okay? Your Bitcoin sovereignty. Take self-custody of your damn Bitcoin, okay? Your health. Take your health into your own hands. I always encourage you guys, eat real food, okay? Something that else I would be remiss to mention is the fact that, like fiat money, health insurance is a scam. Most health insurance policies are an absolute scam, which is why I've also recently partnered up with Crowd Health, okay? They are a Bitcoin-backed company trying to fix the health insurance industry, okay? So again, I highly recommend you guys check out what Crowd Health is doing for any health insurance needs. You guys can actually get a massive discount on that policy if you use promo code Green Candle. I have put that in the live chat. Again, there is scams in every aspect of our life. You know, money is just the first thing. Obviously, the educational system, the pharmaceutical system, and obviously the health insurance system. Got to be careful. Again, health is very serious to me, which is why I'm happy to partner with Crowd Health. You can check out a link down below. Make sure you use that promo code Green Candle for a big discount on that health insurance policy. Bobby here in the chat says, take self-custody of your capital gains tax. That's another thing you could do. Take responsibility of where you live. Don't live in these Western nations who want to give you unrealized capital gains taxes on Bitcoin. Move somewhere. I would always encourage you guys to stamp your whole words, or your whole all the words of your Bitcoin backup words. Again, I only use the first 4 words of my Bitcoin backups, but you know, some people can be confused. If you're leaving your 12 or 24 words for a future family or friend member, just give them the whole word. It could confuse them if you just give them the first 3 letters or the first 4 letters of each individual Bitcoin backup word. I do understand that. I do it myself, and I probably shouldn't. Michael, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, my friend. You sent me one of these the other night as well. Really appreciate that. I actually put your super chat to work the other night. I went and got some Strepsils to clear my throat. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's still a bit scratchy. I'm too soft for the European winter. It's freezing over here in Spain right now. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. McLovin has appeared fashionably late. I'm here. We can start the stream now. He's joined and he's already given us the link for everyone that you need to check out. Again, go check out Stampseed, linked in the live chat, as well as down below in the description of today's video. If you want to go get yourself 15% off on those titanium plates. Again, back up your Bitcoin. Get your Bitcoin off the BlackRock ETF while you still can. I'm never gonna fire you, All Night Hider. You're the man. I don't think you've ever missed a live stream. Again, take self-custody of your Bitcoin. Go get a hardware wallet. Doesn't matter what hardware wallet you get. Just get your Bitcoin off an exchange. Okay, I think this is a really important message. I think watching what BlackRock is doing in these videos when they are saying the quiet part out loud, I will happily be the one who is happy to look like an idiot in the event that this little white line is in fact just a legal disclaimer. I will happily be the one who will look like an idiot and give you guys the warning that, hey, I think I find this suspicious. This is coincidental. I don't like it. Okay. I'll continue making these videos for you guys and telling you guys to pay attention to the things that I think need to be paid attention to. Again, is this confirmation that BlackRock's going to attack Bitcoin tomorrow and try to change the 21 million hard cap? No. But should we be paying attention to it? Yes. I think that's the message from today's video. Do not trust these institutions with your Bitcoin. This is highly coincidental, especially when you consider the stack of evidence that I brought in today's live stream. Okay, again, for those who joined late, we went through an entire tweet thread where I documented all of the strange connections that BlackRock have with the World Economic Forum, the BIS, the IMF. We went through all of the interesting proof of work connections, why Larry Fink's on the website of the World Economic Forum, and why I believe for a long time that they're going to be attacking proof of work. If you are someone in the crowd of 1,663 of you guys tuning in between Twitter and YouTube, if you did join late, go back, because I went all the way down the rabbit hole. I showed you all of the receipts. I showed you guys the Twitter thread that I wrote the day after BlackRock launched that Bitcoin ETF filing in mid-2023. When everybody said it was bullish, I wrote a Twitter thread, put a lot of time into it, did a lot of research showing you guys the chronological order of why I think things are very interesting and very suspicious that BlackRock is doing and saying. I showed you guys what they buried on page 24 of that initial ETF filing. If you joined late, go and check that out. If you enjoyed the video, All Night Hider says you can bruise the like button for the algorithm. I would appreciate that. And I just appreciate everyone who tuned in tonight. We've got a ton of you guys tuning in. I kept the live stream going for 50 minutes. I even have a flat laptop, but I wanted to keep this thing going because I think it's a topic that needs to be talked about more. So thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to Kanga for the $15 super chat. Thank you to Dean for the 100 South African Rand super chat, I believe. I hope that's your currency. Michael, the $10 super chat. And thank you so much to everyone else who joined in. Again, I love making these live streams for you guys. I hope this one was valuable. If it was, share it far and wide. Okay, again, let's not let BlackRock and these other guys control Bitcoin, attack Bitcoin. We don't want people to be surprised if hypothetically there is an attack in the future. I'm not saying there definitely is. I am saying I think there's a much higher probability that BlackRock does attack Bitcoin than most other people. And I don't think you should be listening to the people who are saying definitively, you trust BlackRock, trust Coinbase. They're these big regulated institutions. You're just a conspiracy theorist for raising the risks. Please don't listen to those people. There are no certainties in life, only probabilities. And the probability of an attack, I believe, is higher than most people think. With all that said, thank